So now what I'm reading is he's back on the mound. He's throwing again. Not only is Houston in need of an infusion offensively, but I think they could stand a new arm. And at the beginning of the year, the talk was when we get to the playoffs, you're going to see Verlander, you're going to see Cole, and you're going to see Forrest Whitley. Well, if Whitley is strong and he can throw, Houston's struggling a little bit, this may be an opportunity for Forrest Whitley to come up soon as he's healthy. That's what I'm looking for in Houston. I'm looking for a Cole Tucker appearance, and sometime probably in late July, I'm looking for Forrest Whitley to be on the mound throwing for the Astros. Let's keep our eye on that and see what happens.
Seattle, they take on the Brewers. They've been winning in Milwaukee this week. That game's at 2:10 today. Mike Leake, 7-6 against Anderson, 3-2. Seattle won last night in Milwaukee. They've won 2 in a row over the Brewers. This is game 3 of the set. That last night's score was 4-2 in favor of the visiting Mariners. Pitching today for them, Mike Leake, and against the Brewers, not a lot of credible numbers to give you. I'll give you what I have. How's that? And the first few are just not credible to go on. But Mike Moustakas, 2 for 2 against Leake. Lorenzo Cain, 2 for 3. Eric Thames, 3 for 6. Even Travis Shaw, 2 for 5. Now, again, those are all small samples, under 10 at-bats, but all over 400, and 3 of those over 500. Ryan Braun has 28 career at-bats against him, 6 hits. That's a 214 average. Yasmani Grandal struggles against Mike Leake for some reason. 3 for 22 in his career with 5 strikeouts. That's a 136 average. And how about Christian Yelich, talking about struggling? And this will be interesting today to see who I predicted to be the Triple Crown winner this year, Christian Yelich, performing against Mike Leake at home in Miller Park. His career, though, Yelich is 1 for 13, a 077 average. And I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to predict Yelich to get some hits today. This has got to work its way out. Leake's not that good, and Yelich is. Okay, so I'm thinking Yelich is going to hit the ball today against Mike Leake, and I look for the Brewers to salvage a game. I really do. Now, the Brewers' problem has been pitching. It just has been horrendous over the year. Brandon Woodruff, seemingly their bright spot in the rotation. And, of course, they've got an ace in the hole when you get into the bullpen. But starting-wise, the Brewers have struggled. And let's see today what Chase Anderson can bring to the mound. I don't have a lot of numbers there to give you, but I do know J.P. Crawford for the Mariners has been red hot lately. Crawford was moved to the 2-hole on June the 20th, and since then has just been on fire. He's 12 for 23 over his last 5 games. That's a 522 average. He's driven in 11 runs over those 5 games. He is a hitter to add in fantasy. I got to go get him while he's hot. J.P. Crawford, traded away by the Phillies. He was a first-round guy. This guy has a lot of ability. And it seems like Seattle, although I know they are languishing at the bottom of the division, they just pick up these guys, and these guys seem to perform for the Mariners. Santana has done it this year, and now J.P. Crawford. I like J.P. Crawford. I like him today in this game against Chase Anderson. I think he's an ad. Also like D. Gordon. D. Gordon makes good contact, and I like him. He's been 3 for 11 in his career. That's a 273 average off of Chase Anderson. The final afternoon game today is Atlanta, and Bryce Wilson making his debut as a starter against the Cubs. Tyler Chatwood going for the Cubs. The Braves have been owning this series so far. They really have. And, I wonder what the Cubs are going to do to get started back up today. Is Tyler Chatwood the answer? I don't know. But I do know this. It is predicted that their closer will be activated today. That's right. We're going to see finally the free agent at the draft date acquisition come up for the Cubs. And if he's in a closed save situation, Craig Kimbrell should be making his debut today for the Cubs. Atlanta hitting against Tyler Chatwood. Freddie Freeman, 8 for 16 in his career, with also 2 walks. That's a 500 average, of course. Matt Joyce, look for him to probably start today and give someone possibly a day off, because he's hitting 375 off of Tyler Chatwood. I have no numbers to give you. Bryce Wilson making a start. Bryce Wilson is a fastball reliant pitcher. Cub hitters are fastball hitters. The Cubs, this really could be some runs being scored by the Cubs today. They haven't won a game in the series. Look for them to salvage the Thursday afternoon slate between Atlanta and Chicago. And then we get into our night slate. We've got Washington at Miami, Steven Strasburg for the Nationals, Alcantara going for the Marlins. Strasburg is 8-4 on the season. Alcantara is 4-6. As far as numbers go, Neil Walker, 7 for 25 in his career off of Strasburg. That's a 280 average. Miguel Rojas, who is multi-positional eligible, is 6 for 19 off of Strasburg. That's a 316 average. Someone who has not fared well against Steven Strasburg career-wise is Curtis Granderson. Man, he's 3 for 27 in his career. That's a 111 average off of Steven Strasburg. For the Nationals. For the Nationals against Alcantara, not a lot of sample size. I'll give you what could be relevant. These are they reached the cusp. 9 plate appearances, Anthony Rendon, 4 hits. Adam Eaton, 9 plate appearances, 4 hits. Juan Soto, 9 plate appearances, 4 hits. Trey Turner, 9 plate appearances, 3 hits. Look for Matt Adams to start today. Adams homered yesterday in Miami against the Marlins. The Nats. I've talked about the Nats, and I went through the standings with you earlier. I told you that they have won 20 of their last 29. The Nats are on the cusp of being relevant in fantasy, and I told you let's wait till next week. Right now it's looking more and more like the Nats, maybe they're keepers instead of sellers. And these games against the Marlins, these division games, that's where oftentimes playoff spots are determined, how you perform in your division. You know, one of the big reasons the Yankees are having such a good year is because of the way they've played against the American League East. That was Boston last year. Boston played really well last year against the American League East, and you see what it got them. It got them a first-round bye in the playoffs, which in turn led to a World Series championship. Not saying the Nats are going to be World Series champs. I am saying interdivision games, these are important, and how they perform within their own division may determine whether or not the Nats are a playoff contender or a playoff pretender. At 8:40 tonight, the Dodgers are in Coors Field. Walker Buehler, off his last complete game, 16 strikeout performance. Wow. He's 8-1 with a 2.96 ERA. He goes against the rookie Lambert, who's 2-0. Now his ERA is inflated at 5.85. The Dodgers and Rockies, this could be an explosive series. It could also not be. The Dodgers are throwing their very best pitchers in all 4 of these games. Buehler gets the start tonight. Against Buehler, here we go. Charlie Blackmon, 7 for 24, 2 home runs, a 292 average. David Dahl, 4 for 16, a home run. That's a 250 average. Now let's talk about some players who haven't fared so well against Buehler. The first one, Nolan Arenado, 4 for 19. That's a 211 average. He has homered. Tony Wolters, 1 for 10. Ian Desmond, who's been hot of late, but he's only 2 for 18 in his career off of Walker Buehler with 4 strikeouts. That's a 111 average. Here's somebody you definitely don't want to play tonight. Ryan McMahon, 0 for 12 in his career off Walker Buehler with 6 strikeouts. Okay, the Dodgers, Lambert just has not had much experience. I will say this, he has pitched against the Dodgers. That's why his ERA is 5.40, because they are as a team 7 for 20 off of Lambert in that one start. They're hitting 350 as a team off of him. Look for Verdugo, Peterson. I like those 2 guys near the top of the order against Beater Lambert tonight in Colorado. Arizona They're at Oracle Park tonight, taking on the Giants in San Francisco. Young he's a rookie, not very heralded. I wouldn't pick him up today in fantasy. I'll tell you why. Alex Young, he is a left-hander. He's going to start tonight, as I just said. He has made 8 starts in the Pacific Coast League this season, and his numbers are not impressive. He has a 5.79 ERA with 39 strikeouts in 32 2/3 innings. But Arizona is desperate for a starting pitcher. And so they're going to send out their 25-year-old, and hopefully Luke Weaver will be back soon. I told you, I believe it was Tuesday, Luke Weaver had undergone an MRI. Things are looking better, but no timetable has been set for his return. But he should be back probably around the end of July. They've got to try to piece something together. Arizona's certainly in the playoff hunt from a wild card perspective. I'm not optimistic on Alex Young. I will say this. He is pitching against the Giants. So they've put him in the best spot they can against an offensive lack of juggernaut, okay? Not a juggernaut, the Giants. And he's in a great pitcher's park, Oracle Park. So he's got the environment. He's got the opportunity. He just hasn't put up the numbers this year. Now, maybe because he's been pitching at AAA where balls fly out of ballparks at a record rate, maybe that's not a true indicator of his ability. Let's see. But I'm not going to pick him up in fantasy today. I am going to keep my eye on him because he looks like, at least for the immediate future, is going to get the opportunity with Luke Weaver out for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then finally tonight, we've got the Oakland A's at 10:07 playing in Anaheim against the Angels. Brett Anderson going for the Oakland A's, Canning going for the Angels, or Tanner Anderson rather going for the Oakland A's. No stats to give you on Angels batters. As far as Griffin Canning, the A's have seen him a few times now. It's not good sample sizes, but I will give you what I've got. Ramon Laureano is 3 for 4 off of him with a home run. Marcus Semien, 2 for 6 off of Canning with a home run. Robbie Grossman, 2 for 6. So in this short sample, it looks like Oakland batters, they seem to pick up the ball well off of Canning. We'll see how they do tonight. And that's our slate of games for tonight. Guys, thank you so much for being with me this morning. I've got a lot of things going on today, but I've enjoyed the show. I love this. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Andrea, for this opportunity. Once again, look forward to hearing you guys on Sirius, your final show this weekend. Guys, tune in between 7 and 10 Sunday morning. Listen to these guys. Let's call in. Let's give them some support. They've created this baseball fantasy network and done a great job, and let's support them on Sunday. Okay, let's do that. Let's go out and watch some afternoon baseball. Support your other podcasters today. Following my show, it's Nothing But Fantasy. Lou and Andrea, that ought to be a great show. Those guys, they can talk and just give you all kinds of information. Aloha. Kevin's going to be on at 3 this afternoon. JJ on at 2, preceding Kevin. That's our schedule for today. Again, tune in. You can watch games. You can listen in as we're watching the games. I've done that, right? So thank you again for being with me. This is Arnie for Arnie's Fantasy World of Sports. Have a great Thursday, everybody.